Hello, my friends. It's been a while, so here's a Kirblog to add to the pile. I just flew back in from Texas this week, and boy, is my everything tired. Mostly my voice. And also, while I was gone, or rather, as I was getting back, more or less, a whole bunch of cool Pokemon stuff happened, and it ain't Pokecember anymore, but screw it. We're into March already. Good God, this year's flying by already quickly. Not that it's been that long anyway. It just feels like it's going fast. I don't know. I'm getting old now. I'm feeling the 30 jizz. Good. So I was gone in Texas for 6 days, staying with my lovely friends Brittany Lauda and Matt Shipman, who Darling and the Franks fans will know as the voices of Ichigo and Hiro from that show. And I know them as, well, my good friends from Long Island, where I grew up, but they are the people who run Kocha Sound. And for those of you who don't know this, I'm sure I probably talked about it somewhere like a couple of years ago, but I was cast in this really cool little visual novel point-and-click adventure game by U7 called Minotaur. There was a Kickstarter for it, and way back I recorded for one of the lead characters, Nod Pikes, for the demo, the prototype demo that they put out. People kind of helped get around a little bit with folks when Markiplier did a gameplay video of it. And in case you guys missed, I did a little quick like behind the scenes video of recording of me recording some voiceover stuff for it during one of the scenes we were doing. But yeah, I did the prototype, the demo thing a few years ago, and so they're getting closer to releasing the first pack of story for the game. Nod Pikes is one of, I believe, 5 characters that each have their own story path in the game. So I came into Dallas for 6 days and went to Brittany and Matt's studio where we recorded for close to 40 hours of not of like, you know, straight dialogue, but like we spent 40 hours of recording on all of my characters' dialogue for the entire game, which was insane and a lot of fun and a lot of hard work and super grueling and challenging for a multitude of reasons, not the least of which was because of just the sheer amount. Of course, you know, anybody who's played a point and click, or a visual novel kind of game knows that the amount of text that comes with it is, massive, insurmountably huge, and we voiced virtually everything, I believe, in the entire game for my character. And cast, of course, includes the likes of lovely folks like Elizabeth Maxwell and Brittany Karbowski, other folks, Cliff Chapin, and which is really awesome. The whole cast is really good. And I got to come in and do my thing, and thankfully it went really well because myself and Brittany and Matt have a pretty good synergy with knocking out a lot of this stuff. We had to spend a lot of time on everything. We were kind of trying to hit like a stride of anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours of recording material, like basically every day that I was there. While I was there, I did get a teeny little bit of time to see some other folks. I hung with a couple of people from the Team 4-Star group, and a few of the Funimation guys, and a couple other people. Even Sean and Gabby from ye old Wachow days, believe it or not. My good friends Gabby and Sean, and saw them for the first time in like especially Gabby. I hadn't seen her since like I think like Youmacon like a billion years ago, and Sean, last time I saw him was I think at PAX. And loved seeing them again. Shout out to you guys if you hear this. And a whole bunch of folks I did get to see mixed in there, and that was a ton of fun. Yeah, it was a great visit, and I always love working with Brittany and Matt. I always love seeing all my many Dallas friends, or like at least as many of them as I get to see while I'm there. Typically, I come to visit for work stuff, but thankfully I got to see a pretty fair amount of people while I was there, and play with Brittany's lovely pupper Raven. So it was a lot of that. As you could probably tell from the wear and tear of my voice, I'm a little fried, and I immediately had to get back into recording like the day that I landed. I got back to LA, and then I had to go to record some stuff, which perhaps you may or may not all be seeing very soon. I can't deny. In the midst of this, of course, a whole lot of really exciting Pokemon stuff happens. So I guess to go into that then, because I'm assuming people probably want to know my thoughts on some of this stuff, the Detective Pikachu trailer, just straight up, I am all in on this movie. Any doubt that I had is pretty much gone at this point. Obviously, with in mind all of the inherent silliness of it with, Ryan Reynolds and, being a talking Pikachu and just the weird novelty of the hyper-realistic Pokemon and everything. Just even with all of that included, it's funny, it's interesting, it's cool. Like, I'm excited for this. Interestingly, this is one of those things where I'm reminded, like, man, these trailers are cool. But sometimes I regret seeing them. I would have actually really liked to have had Mewtwo be a surprise for me to go into the movie seeing, but it would have been unavoidable because it's on every goddamn YouTube the thumbnail of anybody talking about the movie at this point. So it's like, all right, well, whatever. I guess in that case, at least I saw it in the trailer and in the cool way that they presented it. It seems like they're from my little understanding of the plot. Based on my conversations with people who have played it and KG, some of the other cast members, KG and Kira and all them. The movie seems to be taking actually a lot more from the plot of the Detective Pikachu video game than I expected it to, which is kind of cool. Part of me was considering either picking up the game or maybe even just like watching the cutscenes or whatever. Before going into the movie, but I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted on if I want to do that. I'm actually curious, without spoiling anything, to those of you who have played Detective Pikachu, if you think that I should play the game beforehand or not. I'm actually curious for your opinions. If you want to leave some comments on that, I'm sure some people who are listening to this have probably played it. So, yeah, overall, of course, if you've probably seen it already, the trailer. So, the inclusion of Mewtwo, that's awesome. Curious if perhaps like Bill Nighy or some of the other actors that they announced that haven't been like disclosed on what the roles are, if they might be the voice of Mewtwo in the movie. Presuming that he talks. I'm starting to slightly buy into Mike Lucas's theory that the Lucy character might actually just be Misty undercover. And because since she's not, and I feel bad because it's Kira's character, but the girl from the game, it might not be them, but I don't know for certain. I'm not sure. But either way, everything I'm seeing of it, all the Pokemon that they've been revealing and everything, and just all the set pieces, like the look of Rhyme City, all the comedy moments and everything, and like it seems like they're actually going to be exploring a lot of the specific tropes, like having like the battles and all that, and like showing all the power, even Pikachu like using his powers and everything, like during these different sequences and shit. I am like all about this movie. I am very excited. I will probably go try to see this one on opening night if possible. So yeah. What else? Okay, yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield. I did indeed wake up at the ass crack of dawn to see this direct, and so far, very much intrigued. Obviously, just a little bit. Very happy and surprised actually at the choice of having it, based on what the evidence seems to clearly indicate from everybody who's witnessed it within the last, 2 days. I'm recording this on Thursday night, just for time traveling's sake. The fact that it's the region is based on England, on the UK rather. And all the locales look beautiful. That more than anything else, I was expecting like the visuals to have a major upgrade compared to what we've had previously, even with Sun and Moon and X and Y, of course, with moving into the 3D stuff. So the actual stages look really cool. The whole region of this one, I think, is going to look really beautiful. And, of course, we got a taste with that with Let's Go, seeing how Kanto looks in like a higher definition kind of thing. But, all three of the starters are super cute. I drew a sketch of them a couple days ago of them, like, playing soccer balls, because I kind of want that. I don't know if we're going to get some kind of mini game or something, but I have noticed from a little bit of a closer inspection of the map, there seems to be these, like, arena type things that are in all of the major towns that you go to, which, might just be battle arenas. It's not necessarily like there's like a sporting event, but that would be cool if there was like a football, soccer kind of thing, to have in there. And, that makes sense for Europe, of course. But, I don't know. I haven't picked which starter I want yet. I like them all so far. Leaning towards, Score Bunny, just cause like he's pretty fun and he's fun to draw. But they're all pretty cool. I realize, like, looking back on it, like, I've mostly been a water type guy in terms of I've been kind of like half and half with like water and fire. But we'll see when it comes out. I'm actually curious to see their full evolutions as well. I really want them to be like forward, midfielder, and defense kind of themed for their final evolutions, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. I have no idea if they're even going to go with that theme. Only minor disappointment, and I mean, I was kind of bracing myself for this already, was I was hoping that they would keep the overworld wild Pokemon thing from Let's Go. I kind of figured that they wouldn't, because also, as Mike Lucas theorized, that seems to be like a exclusive feature to that game and not a new staple thing, which sucks, but is whatever. The battle system footage seems to be along the same lines as how things usually are. I don't know if they're going to have any. I don't know if they'll ever do any like really major updates. I mean, the last thing we got obviously was like the Z moves and Mega Evolution stuff, which didn't interfere with the mechanics, too far. Yeah, I am curious to see what other like unique things are with this, and of course, the new creatures and everything. People seem to be upset that, and already thinking that, like, oh, there's not going to be that many new Pokemon or whatever because since they're moving into 3D, they might recycle a lot of the older ones, which I don't know. I don't really mind that too hard. I mean, I'm sure that there will be like a fine number of them. I do have a theory, actually. I was telling this to Brittany and Matt. We were walking the dog one day and talking about like after they watched the trailer before I left, and I think Matt made the point of like, like Sword is probably going to sell like way more than Shield is, but I feel like maybe to offset that, because I mean they must know that going into it. Something tells me, I'm going to theorize this now. I mean, and granted, this is kind of an opinion thing, but I'm curious to see what the general opinion is. I'm betting good money that the Shield legendary Pokemon that will inevitably be on the cover of that game is probably going to be significantly cooler looking than whatever the Sword Pokemon legendary is, so that perhaps more people will be inclined to want to buy Shield as opposed to Sword, just to maybe balance the sales out, because inherently Sword is cooler than a Shield, but we'll see what happens. I do love the hilarity of the actually, I'm curious, because we didn't get a Pokemon Z game. We got the XYZ season in the series, and Zygarde was the Z symbol equivalent Pokemon to Xerneas and Yveltal as the X and Y creatures. I'm wondering if maybe we will get like a third legendary that counts as like like as the equivalent of that, in the way that we didn't get Gray, but like Kyurem was a big part of Black and White too, and its relation to Reshiram and Zekrom with the black, white, and gray thing. I'm wondering if we will get like a wand or a gun or whatever the third weapon will be, like a militaristic thing. I'm curious if that might be another creature, and I would bet probably, but who knows if they even go with the theme of them being based on the specific weapons or something. There might be something entirely different. I have yet to watch Game Explain's breakdown thing of the trailer and everything. I do want to check that out, because Derek and everybody, usually when they, oil up the old analysis machine, they find a lot of cool stuff that often tends to be the case. So we'll see how that goes. And then lastly, I don't have too much to say about this. No, maybe I do. We'll see. The Mewtwo Strikes Back, the day that I'm recording this on Thursday, the Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution trailer, the Japanese trailer, came out. And I will also say, much like the previous two Pokemon things I mentioned, I'm excited for it. And I said on Twitter, maybe this is a controversial opinion, that like I am looking forward to it. Martin seems to think, because I think that Mewtwo Strikes Back is an unironically good film as it is. I've said this a few years ago, a few Poke-Sembers ago, if you will, that I consider the first Pokemon movie in Japanese to be a really, really good movie in general, not just for a Pokemon movie. And I do like it a lot. I genuinely can justify, it's not a guilty pleasure for me, I can genuinely justify my reasons as to why I like it so much. And I've said also before, I do have fond memories of Pokemon, the first movie. However, it's a different movie. The changes that they made to the adaptation and some of the story, the writing and the dialogue and some of the actual like story devices are just different enough that it is interpreted into a different film at its base level, I would say, by what 4Kids did with it originally. Does that make it bad? No, it just makes it different, and it's inherently it's inaccurate to what the original filmmaker's vision was. I still enjoy that interpretation for what it is. I have fond memories of seeing it as a 11-year-old. But if there's one thing, because I don't know, I guess maybe I think it's controversial because you'd think as someone who is a hardcore fan of the original movie, I would be like disgusted by the existence of this, but no, I'm looking forward to seeing it. But yeah, the CG looked much better in this full trailer as opposed to that little teaser thing, which was a concern I'd heard. And although, but as far as the love for this movie goes, like I'll probably see this with like Mike and Amy, but like probably not like the rest of my friends, because like a lot of my friends they tend to get a little jaded about Pokemon stuff, which I get it, but no, I'm excited. But sorry, I forgot to finish this point. The one major thing that I'm hoping will be different as far as what we get is I hope that the English adaptation of the film is closer to what the original Japanese writing was as far as the plot goes. I'm not saying like the dialogue has to be one-to-one exactly what the Japanese is necessarily, but as far as the liberties, the liberties that were enough that mattered that 4Kids took back in the day, I would like to get an English language experience of the film that is closer to what the envisionment of the story was supposed to be, in that it's more about Mewtwo and Ash and the gang happen to be in it, and they're the ones that help with his development and everything. That's what I hope. We'll see, for nostalgic reasons and also for, because I'm not imagining it's going to be like Kingdom Hearts where they're going to reanimate the CG mouth movements to fit the other language versions of the film. I'm really not expecting that to happen. And I know a lot of people are going to inevitably be upset that it's not going to be the original voice cast. I would be even surprised at best if they got Mewtwo's original actor back. I think that'd be really cool. I would love to hear him again, but I am not expecting that to happen. And I can almost guarantee you all that Ash, Misty, and Brock will be the people that have been playing them for longer than the original actors. So you can deal with it. Sorry, not sorry. But in which case, I am excited for Sarah and Michelle and Carter and Bill. I would love to hear them give a take on this, especially if the script is going to be more accurate, which, we'll see. I'll cross my fingers, but who knows what'll happen. Either way, no, I'm excited for it. I'm going to go check this out, and, my adoration and love for the original movie as it is doesn't make me dislike it. I'm very open-minded to it, and I want to check it out, so... Yeah, that's all my thoughts on all of the various Pokemon things we've just gotten. So, I guess before I leave real quick, as far as things you can hear me in recently, Death End Request just came out for the PS4 about a week and a half ago. So go check that out. It's by the folks that created the Hyperdimension Neptunia series. Features myself as the lead guy character, Arata Mizunashi, and the likes of Kaylee Mills, Kira Buckland, Faye Mata, Brianna Knickerbocker, Erica Mendez, Morty, and Shermie Lee, a lot of other folks, Sarah Williams, tons and tons of folks. Really, really good people are all in this, and it was a lot of fun to work on that at Bang Zoom. Hunter x Hunter, I'm getting close to being done. My last few Hunter x Hunter episodes are airing with Shawa Poof, if you're tuning in. Most recently, we did the... Gon versus Pito fight that just aired on Adult Swim last weekend. So, we're getting closer and closer to being done with the Chimera Ant arc now, and particularly my episodes, for those of you who know the series. So, keep it up. Keep checking that out. If you have any questions or ideas for future Kirblog topics, or questions for the mailbag section, again, I haven't done that in a while because I haven't done one of these. This is the first general check-in Kirblog I've done in a long time. So sorry for that. But I wanted to just kind of get some stuff out there about various things, so hopefully that's okay. But I think for March, I'm going to probably keep these pretty light and do some updates on some other things, and I have a couple other cool things happening. But keep an eye out, and so thanks a bunch, and I'll catch you on the next one, and bye.